A big hello to everyone. I'm here in Portugal and it's the first day here, so the first day of my new chapter in my life. So we just arrived yesterday evening. It was a very long travel. Although we're just coming from Germany, it took us nearly 12 hours to get to our little Airbnb near Azenhas. And I have to say it's just great. We're not at Azenhas now. This is Margarito Beach, and I haven't been here since 11 years, and I couldn't remember how awesome this is. So what you see behind me now, it's low tide, and there are all those beautiful rocks here, which I can't remember to have seen last time I was here. So those beaches here, when the winter or late autumn is approaching, there are a lot of waves, a lot of surf, and the beach is transformed. So for example, first time I was in Portugal, it was January. One beach had a lot of sand when we arrived. At the end of the week there was no sand left, everything was rocks, and it seems here this beach has also already seen quite some swell, quite some water taking away sand, because all those beautiful rocks there could make for a nice foreground if I go here for sunset in a few days. So now it's around noon, it's low tide, which means at sunset would be high tide, so nothing of those rocks would be visible. But I already checked Now Tide, the app I'm using, and in about 4 or 5 days I should get the same tide for sunset. So I think I'm gonna come back and then photograph in this direction here with the sun in this direction. So basically having late evening light hitting those cliffs, which you can hopefully see in the background. So there's a lot of haze there. And then getting close to those rocks here. Let's do this. And kind of using those as foreground. And then when they're wet, they also get some reflected light. Only thing, I also need some clouds. So currently the weather forecast is just great in terms of holiday. In terms of photography, I'd say it's too great. So not many clouds in the next days, but we'll see. Here at the coast, weather can change quite quickly. So I'm still looking forward to those next 10 days we're gonna spend here. And afterwards, it's off to Madeira. But for now, let's just focus on those beautiful beaches here. So I'm gonna take a walk now, see if I can find something else. And then maybe in 4 or 5 days, I'm gonna come back here and take some photos. So I'm now in the Airbnb, and I have to excuse the acoustics here. It might be a little echoey, but I hope that's fine. So what I thought I want to do for this video and also for the following videos, when I'm out scouting and return to the Airbnb, I will do what I usually do, review the photos to make a plan for the actual shoot. And I do this together with you now. So basically what I did in the field, or what I always do, I get out my cell phone, which is the Google Pixel, the version 5, and it has a wide angle camera, which is close to the wide angle view I get with my Canon. So I can explore different compositions, I can go low, I can go higher, so whatever. I just vary the compositions and I take many photos. And this is what I did at Margarito Beach. And here you see the first test shot I did with those rocks here in the foreground. You see here the rocks leading into the sea, then this curving line, and in the back the cliffs which come in here from the left side. And you also see that with blue sky, or even at sunset, if there's nothing going on in the sky, this image will not be very balanced, because the sun will not be in the frame, it will be outside of the frame. So there's nothing on this side to balance those dark cliffs. Even though they are lit by the sun, it's still gonna be unbalanced. So what I really need when I return, or if I return for sunset, will be some clouds, so some action in the sky, and then this would work much better. What I can also do is just zoom in a bit more and focus more on this area, but still you see nothing going on this side would not work out even for sunset. So let's look at some other compositions I checked. And here further down the beach there's more rocks, but I don't think they will work so well. So it's a lot of dark mass here intersected with some beach, and again here I'm closer to the cliffs even. So the cliffs here on the left side will even be more dominant. So let's compare with the first shot where I'm farther away from the cliffs. Here it's quite okay still, but here the cliffs on the left are very dominant. So I need a lot of clouds, a lot of action in this part of the screen.
or image to work out. And yeah, this theme continues. Here I have some nice foreground, which you could imagine if there's some beautiful color reflected in those tidal pools, this would look nice, especially if it's magenta. So you have the green of those mosses and then some magenta reflected here. This would be awesome. Also red would work well. But the typical problem, we have a lot of stuff going on the left side and we need something to balance it. Here I created a bit more balance by placing a rock here on the lower right, but to be honest, a few tides and low tides in, waves, I'm not sure if this rock will even be there. So this was just an example to show what I could look for. So basically having this area clean or relatively clean to balance a relatively clean sky up here, and then putting this rock here, which kind of weighs down the scales, the balance for this side. So it would work much better than what I had before. I also tried how it would look with a vertical shot, but I think it's the similar problem. And then down here I also found this nice structure, kind of zigzagging into the scene. And yeah, the typical problem. Something needs to be on this side. So you see, I take a lot of photos with a cell phone to later look at them when I'm back in the Airbnb, hotel, whatever, to just make a plan for the sunset I want to photograph. And then I can also know what I need. So if there's only a clear sky, doesn't really work out. So I don't need to return to this location. So I rather check for another location which might work with a clean sky where there's no clouds. So that's something to always consider. So I think scouting, as I said in previous videos, is a very important part of landscape photography and travel photography. And yeah, here I just want to share the process, how I do this, and I continue throughout the following videos. So I hope this was interesting. But now, yeah, back to some photography, hopefully. So it's evening now, the first evening I'm taking photos here in Azenhas do Mar. So the town you see over there in the haze, just a little part of it. So from this viewpoint I cannot see the complete town, but that's fine because this evening I want to focus more on those dramatic cliffs and on the waves crashing on them, because as I said, it's high tide now, and yeah, this creates some quite dramatic conditions down there in the water. It also creates a lot of haze there in the background, so currently you don't see very far, but I hope that the towns in the background, when they light up in maybe 20 minutes, that this creates a nice orange glow in that haze. Also for Azenhas do Mar, I'm hoping that this will create a nice color contrast to the blue sky of Blue Hour. So yeah, that's the plan. So as you can see, there are no clouds anyway, so nothing in terms of wide angle photography, which is why I've put on the long lens. So currently I'm doing a little clip for the video, so I just filmed, but I later switched to a vertical frame, zoom in on those cliffs and also on the town, and then just wait until the lights go on and take some long exposures, which should look nice with all the action down in the water. I hope to have some nice shades there from the surf in like 2 to 10-second exposures, so I'll vary this a bit. And yeah, let's just see what I get. And tomorrow morning I might return or go to the official viewpoint, which is over there. So that's currently a bit crowded in the evening. Usually many people are there, but I reckon tomorrow morning this could be nice. And again, I won't have any clouds, so it will most likely be a Blue Hour shot. But who knows? As I said, weather could change quite quickly, but I don't think it's gonna change in 1 or 2 days. So I have a few more days here and also a few other spots I want to show you. But for now, I'm gonna focus on this photo now and enjoy the evening.
Good morning again. So here we are at the viewpoint which I mentioned yesterday, the more popular one, where you can see directly down to this beautiful town. And yeah, I've been here now for half an hour because you can see now it's blue hour, so the sky is grayish, bluish, and then you still have the lights on. But because of all the haze and the spray in the air, when I was here half an hour ago, there was a nice glow above the city, and that's something I think I mentioned in a past video vlog. When you don't have beautiful clouds, more like a very monotone gray sky with just a little bit of features like this one, just go to towns, cities very early, because the light of the city will then reflect off that sky during a long exposure. And that's what I've been doing. I've taken long exposures around 1 to 2 minutes while this glow was still in the sky. And then as it gets later, it transitions from more of an orange glow in the sky to a bluish glow. And at some point, there's a kind of an equilibrium. This is always what I've been waiting for. So you have some blue in the upper part of the sky, then orange, and then the town. And this usually looks very spectacular. I call this kind of false sunrise because you have this orange glow that you get from a nice sunrise or sunset. And yeah, then above it some magenta and blue sky. And I think it worked out nice. So at least on the small display, it looks beautiful. And yeah, we're gonna see the photo soon. Only a quick thing about the composition here. So I'm very confined here with this viewpoint. So I can't go left, right. So it's really just this. And then there's the town, which is obviously the main subject. Only problem is they're here to the left. There's a very dark cliff, and yeah, I can't just cut it out. If I zoom in too close, then I lose also the foreground, which is this little pool with the water rushing around. Also to the side there in the background, there was a town which was lit up, which I wanted in the frame. So yeah, I kind of had to have this cliff in, but we have to see how it looks in the big screen because it's kind of dark. It might work out because there's also dark on the left, because out there in the sea there wasn't much light, so it might balance itself out. But for now, you saw lights went out, so it's always good to be early at a location, because if I just arrived now, it's still half an hour till sunrise. Yeah, I wouldn't get any shot because all the beautiful light that were basically lighting the streets of Azenhas are now out, and the photo, the subject's basically gone. So I make a note now of that time, because maybe tomorrow I come back and then I know exactly when I have to finish my photo shoot.